Hey everybody, Real World Prepper here, and today in this episode I'm going to go over something. This might end up being a multiple part little series that I want to go over. Are you sure you're ready to defend yourself? If you like the content that you see here, please click that subscribe button and the bell notifications. You know the drill, and keep tuned in. Alright, I will be referring to these notes. There's several pages here that I've made, and this is some information. Some of this stuff is taken, some of this information is taken from some various websites. I'm not going to get into citing all this stuff right now. Just I want you guys to think about something in terms of prepping in the real world prepper scenario. And I like to present things in a real world scenario, as you guys know, as best as possible. Real world being those that, you know, the world that we live in, where we have to go to work every day and take care of our families, and you know the drill. It's the real world. We don't have all of our time and resources to put into, you know, prepping and being focused constantly on the prepping all the time. You know, on the one hand, it should be a part of our everyday thought, but it shouldn't consume you. You've heard me say that before. Be consumed by only one thing, and that is the heart of God. So anyway, let's just dive right into it. Are you sure you're ready to defend yourself? All right. So you've stockpiled with your beans, your bullets, your Band-Aids. You got a backup plan. You got a backup plan to your backup plan. You got routes. You got bugouts. You got your homestead. You got your defense. You got your comms. You can survive months without any contact. You know, as I like to say, you walk inside and shut the door, and how long can you and your family survive right there? So you got all this lined out, let's assume, okay? You're ready for just about any, you know, cataclysmic event, whatever the case may be, should one happen. Are you really ready, though, for the most important decision of your life and the life of your family members? What could be the most important decision? How far would you go to protect your life and the life of your family members? Preparing for a disaster doesn't necessarily mean that you prepare for armed combat, but practically, in a practical sense, disasters can create an environment where it brings out the worst in people, where aggressors take from people who are unable to maintain control of their possessions and their preps, you know. Those who have not prepared will find themselves, well, with nothing to lose. You know, think about that. You got somebody who's starving, his family's starving. You know, he's got nothing put up, he's got nothing to lose, right? So he would do whatever it takes. Many people will do whatever it takes. If you look at some of these other channels, people talk about that openly. I don't support that notion, but it's just a fact of life. People are going to do whatever they have to do to survive. If that means killing people, robbing people, stealing, whatever it takes. You know, and in a time where, you know, without rule of law, right, after an SHTF event, then, you know, primal law kicks in. You know, not really a law, but, you know, it's the survival of the fittest, right, or the strongest. So anyway, anything that you have can be taken by force, and this not only includes your food and supplies, but your family members. You know, your family members. Some people like to rationalize, you know, and you've heard me talk about this some too. Some people say, oh, you know, the possibility of something crazy going down is so slim. They refuse to prepare for the possibility of like horrific violence that might occur. They figure it'll be placed far away from their families. You know, oh, we'll be too far away. We live too far away from the city for anything like that to happen. Or if anybody tries to come up on me, I'm just going to shoot them. You know, and all that kind of stuff. This attitude will only increase the odds of failure should you and your family face these threats. Okay. The first step of surviving a violent encounter is accepting that it can happen no matter your preparation or denial of the possibility. All right? So, in theory, that's one thing. Oh, I'll just shoot somebody that comes after me. But in practice, it's another thing. What you can do now is start preparing physically to defend your family in the future. Doesn't mean going out and purchasing a ton of weapons or taking martial arts lessons and becoming a black belt or any of this kind of stuff. It does mean you should know how to operate a weapon. You should know how to, use non-standard weapons as weapons. One example here, okay? Anything. You need to know how to defend yourself, and that the threat of physical violence can be and likely will be a real thing. If you have chosen to not be around firearms, if you don't want to touch them, you don't want your children knowing about them, it's not your thing, right? Okay? You really need to know how at least a wide range of firearms operate, okay? Because the reality is that after an SHTF, the likelihood that you'll not only encounter a firearm either pointed at you or one that is to your avail that you will need to employ, you'll need to know how to use it. I mean, if you don't even know where the safety of the thing is, or that it even has a safety if it does, or how to load it, or how to chamber a round, or any of that kind of stuff, or even to know what's the right bullets for whatever firearm you're using. If you don't know anything about it, it's no better than one of these. You might as well try and bludgeon somebody with the end of a rifle, which can be done. Those that carry regularly and practice with firearms, they're comfortable with their firearms. Loading, field stripping, cleaning, the more varied type of weapons used, the more versatile the ability in using different types of firearms are. So, someone without firearms experience may one day have to bear the arms of that weapon immediately or face certain death. Think about that. Somebody who's never messed with a weapon, doesn't want anything to do with weapons, doesn't want to know about weapons, and next thing you know, one day they're in a situation where someone's coming after them, there's a weapon, if only they knew what to do. All right? So, I'm going to say this is all I'm going to cover on this one right now. This is something I've been working on. Actually, I started this a couple years ago, and as a written piece, and so I'm just going to leave it right here. So the point of today's video right now, this video, is if you're not a weapons guy, you need to learn how to be a weapons guy. Whether you like it or not, after an SHTF event, situation, you're going to have to defend yourself most likely. Most people are not prepared and don't prepare, so they're going to be crazy. They're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to provide for their own or to get what they want, to survive. I mean, that survival instinct will kick in for everybody. So be able to defend yourself. Again, we'll touch more on this subject later. Are you sure you're ready to defend yourself? Thanks for watching this episode of The Real World Prepper. Bye-bye.
I enjoy real long walks.